see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is January 23rd, 2024, and this is episode 617 of the Lots Project podcast. And the title of today's show is Have You Ever Seen the Rain? And I'll be chatting about the starting rain and what that's looking like this week. I'm wondering what it really means to be prepared, and a couple Stoic thoughts from the last couple days, including yesterday, the day before, and a bunch more of stuff is on my list. Let's check in with the coffee crew, see who's hanging out, grab a cup, and hang out for an hour or so. Good morning. How are we doing? Good morning, Pip and James. James in first, Gingerbread Farms, and Pip. Pip's wondering who's getting tacos. It is Tuesday. I guess it is Taco Tuesday. Good morning, Rachel. Rewild Her Life, feeling better, man. You posted that. You posted that thermometer readout yesterday in the Telegram group, and I was like, holy bonkers. Man, I'm glad you're feeling better. That was a quick up and down with that little spike of fever. Glad you're back and feeling better. Digger, thanks for swinging in. And Jim, good morning. Good morning. How are we doing, Jim? How is bright, shiny Florida? And Pip says a decent sunrise with a good bit of red going on. Is that red in the eyes, or is that red in the skies? Red in the skies, red in the morning, sailors take warning. Be careful, Pip. Still dark here too, James. Oh, man. What's in the cup today? GSD, wrapping up a pound of GSD. I had a little left over that went into the malty, the end of bag blend, I think is I can't remember exactly what we call it. The bottom of the bag blend, the bob blend. I'm storing it in a little jar, and as it gets to I didn't weigh it this time, and as it gets to the appropriate weight, I'm just going to make it up and see how it goes. So that's fun. But GSD finishing up today. GSD finishing it up, but I got coffee shipment in yesterday, which was fantastic. Finally, the post office let loose. I'm going to talk about that in a little while. But when the post office let loose, I had some things there. One of them was my monthly C4 package with my coffee. One of the best days of the month for sure. But I got it home and opened it up, and I was looking through what I got this month. I always give Brian some pretty free choice in what to send. He always asks, and I always say, send what you want, because it's all good. It is definitely all good. And so, just like the grocery store, just like the bar with the beer and everything, I rotate my stock of coffee because I am a little bit of a prepper, and I always have maybe a month and a half to 2 months in the cupboard. So when I was pulling out my stock, taking evaluation of what I have, because I like to mix it up amongst the older stuff, a month old, real old coffee. But I'll mix it up and I'll kind of lay it out in order, kind of, and then I just randomly grab as I need it. Well, I was digging out the cupboard, and I saw a shiny silver bag. Now, normally Brian sends the coffee in full pounds with, it's either a blue bag or a black bag, like a normal coffee bag, pound of coffee that you would see, and they stack really nice in the cupboard. Well, at one point he was sending me some testing, some overruns and things like that. And instead of using one of his great, but really nice bags, he used like half pound silver bags. They were like, I think they were cut to size Mylar bags, maybe they were half pound pouches. I'm not sure what they're intended for, but they, one of them made its way to my house. Several made their way to my house at different points, but this one was an FTO blonde espresso. It was like a half a pound. And it fell down behind some of the stuff up in the counter. it fell down behind some of the stuff up in the cupboard, not on the counter, up in the cupboard. And so yesterday when I was pulling stuff out, I was like, and it's kind of way up in the, I'm tall, but I'm not like to the ceiling. And I noticed it and I pulled it out, and it's, a couple months old. And I was like, oh, I'll have to have this FTO blonde. It's been a while since I had some of the PTO blonde. And so I got thinking, I got some Colombian coming up. I got some Peruvian coming up. I got some breakfast blend coming up. And I have this half a pound of FTO blonde espresso. I think we're going to be doing some post blends here on the show. I think I'm going to be doing some blonde Colombians, some blonde Peruvians, and some breakfast with a blonde blends here over the next couple weeks as I open up the new stuff and start messing around with that. I think I'm going to do some 50-50, some 75-25%, and mix in some of that FTO blonde and see how that works. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. Good morning. K-Bonk, thanks for swinging in. K-Bonk says water mains popping in the first municipal water system in the U.S. Still. Oh man, you got water problems, huh, K-Bonk? Is that does that put you down? Does that put you down out of water? Is that your water that you're using? Or is that just something you saw? Gingerbread starting up his Clyde, a bag of Clyde. Yeah, you can grab Clyde blend at the foodforestfarms.com. Actually, Brian and I were talking about his website last night, and he's gonna be doing some retrofitting over there to make it easier to navigate to buy his coffee, because that's what he wants to do, is sell coffee. And we also chatted about the fact that lots 10 one-time use 10% off coupon is a fantastic deal to try some coffee. So spread that around with any coffee snob you know. I think everybody in here knows what I think about it, but spread the message. Maybe it's not for you, but maybe it's for your neighbor or your coworker or your pastor or your teacher. Tell them to check it out, foodforestfarms.com. Lots 10 for discount code gets 10% off of any order, first order only. Hunter over on Twitch, how we doing? K-Bonk says I agree about his site 100%. Yeah, so I was talking to somebody last night, and so I think we get stuck in our own head. Jim says coffee always makes a nice gift. Coffee does make a nice gift, and if you let Brian know it is a gift in the notes, like the notes are fantastic there, or just drop him an email, he will write a handwritten note for a customer for you. No problem. I will guarantee that. I know that happens around Christmas time, but if it's a gift for someone and you reach out and express that, and you take the time to let him know, he is all over the customer service, and he will handwrite a note to send out to your person. No problem. I don't want to make promises he's not going to keep, but I think I can go out on a limb and say that is definitely one he's going to do. With the site thing, though, I was out. I was talking to somebody about his coffee, and I was like, "Hey, here's a 10% coupon discount code. Check it out. Maybe you know somebody that wants to try the coffee. Give them the discount code. If you give it around, spread it around. It's a one-time use only, so it's not going to kill them in the long run by any means. But they asked a question about one of the coffees that I came up with, or can't remember exactly how it went down. But I went to Brian's site and I went to send her a link to the coffee she was talking about, and I was like, click, 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 scroll, click, and I said, dude, you need to make your coffee easier to buy. I said, yeah. So we worked on it, and I think a nice collaboration, and I think it'll become easier. So if you've gone to the Farms site and got bogged down, or you didn't find what you were looking for, give it a few days, maybe a day, maybe two. I'll let you know when it's done, but he's going to retrofit that, and we're going to get that coffee right on the front page and make it easy for you to share or easy for you to use. K-Bonk says, I'm looking forward to my sampler. My biggest problem is a perk or a press. Press. Do it. Pip says, can a stone dude buy coffee easily? Yeah, for sure. For sure. And Gingerbread says, I don't deal with his text site. I just text him. Yeah, that is the perk of a C4 membership. Perk of the C4 membership is you send him a message on Telegram, through text message, through smoke signal, whatever you want, and it just shows up at your door. No dicking around with the internet, no dicking around with that. And it's fantastic. So I highly recommend that. The savings, the cost savings on the C4 membership alone is worth it. And man, Spot Silver. Even if you don't drink coffee and you want to get $40 a month of silver at Spot with free shipping, so that you can. I mean, it is what it is. It's pretty straightforward, no-brainer deal. Rewilder Life says, does all the coffee have CBD? No, not at all. Not at all. The majority of the coffee doesn't have CBD. So that is, yeah, no. James is using his 500 project mug. Nice. Yeah, I have one. I don't know if that one ended up smashing in the. I think I might have dropped that one at some point, unfortunately, before I transitioned to the Toolman Tim mug. Can a stone dude keep it simple? I like it, K-Wonk. I like it for sure. Anyway, let's move on. Stoic thoughts for the day. I've been I had to scramble to catch up. The weekend was just so cold, and basically focusing on. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it with the prepping stuff, but it was cold. We were focusing on staying warm. We were focusing on staying flush with water. We were focusing on getting through the cold snap, and routines and things really just get thrown out the window. I saw it in a bunch of things. I saw it in my eating. I saw it in my daily reading with book. I saw it with show prep. I saw it with everything. Basically, when you get into that quote unquote survival mode, I mean, I don't think it was that bad. And then maybe it was, but I get in that survival mode and get out of a routine. And so I missed Saturday and Sunday and picked it back up Sunday night, I think, and caught up with Saturday and Sunday. And then got back into it yesterday morning in my routine. After I process the show, I sit down and just take a little while to ponder the daily Stoic. But it was interesting because one of the pages I missed, one of the meditations I missed, was on daily rituals, morning rituals. It's and how important it is, and how much we can improve by taking a morning ritual and making it fruitful. I have a morning ritual every morning with my coffee. I've talked about it before. I've made a video on YouTube about it before. I'm probably going to put another video up soon about it. But that time has changed over time. Over the time period I've done it. I guess that ritual has changed. The motions are the same. I go through the motions every day. I grind the coffee. I smell the beans. I weigh the beans. I grind it. I smell it. I brew it. I kind of putz around to get ready for my show over the 4 minutes it takes to brew, and then it's done, and then I get that first sip of coffee, and I usually just pour a little bit in the cup, and let it sit, and it cools down really fast, and so I can get that first taste. And that is the motions. It used to be a lot of when I would be smelling the coffee, I would be thinking about what I was smelling. When I was waiting for the coffee to brew in the French press, I was thinking about the day and what I had to come going on in the day or what I did yesterday, thinking about the show coming up. And I think I went away from a lot of the thinking part of it and just went into the mechanics and the motions of it. I think that I need to get back to really pondering a question, a static question, maybe one a week or every day. And there was a little bit of lead in the Daily Stoic about what Gingerbread says I prepare for the show. Thanks. No, I pull all this shit out of my ass 5 days a week for an hour. I but there was a good list. There was a good list in there about how 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 to how I'm going to make myself a better person today. What trait am I going to focus on really portraying today? Things like that. And just get into the right mode in the morning. And then the next day in the book, they talked about nightly routine and recapping your day and really going over what you did and what you thought about and how you acted, everything from physically to thinking to intentions, and really recap your day and figure out what was good and what was bad and what needs to be changed. K Monk says ponder the moment, be present more. Yeah, be present more with intention though. I think you can be present and just take it all in. I want to be present and take it in and really enjoy the process of making coffee with some intention behind it for that downtime. For that 4 minutes that I'm standing there waiting for the clock to count down, maybe not pace around the camper and wait or dick around and do something that I can't finish in 4 minutes. Maybe I take that 4 minutes and really ponder a question every day. I don't know. Baby steps, send presents. Rachel says, think about thinking. You guys are assholes. Rewilder Life says, oh yeah, I consume it rarely. If I have a big day and I'm all tired, I drink caffeine. It really works best this way because you don't have to build up tolerance. I also have more energy and believe it. Have you tried Swiss water decaf, Rachel? Brian has a fantastic Swiss water decaf bean, basically non-chemically stripped of the caffeine, natural and better for you. And then he also makes half calf and full calf versions of the coffees. So might want to check it out. Might want to check it out if you're limiting caffeine. And yeah. Pip says if you start the morning with waiting and anxiety on the coffee, how's the rest of the day going to go? Well, I'm not waiting and anxious. I'm just milling around and no real purpose to that time and no focus. And I think it's a perfect opportunity to just take a minute. So Rewilder Life says that's all I drink. The process is otherwise nasty. Good. I didn't know if you had explored the Swiss. I hope you had. I know you're very health conscious and processes conscious, and so I figured you had, but I just wanted to mention it just in case. Rewilder Life says I have a stockpile I'm going through. I have a deep prepper pantry. Yeah, that's the way I feel when I look up at my coffee cupboard for sure. Is I get nervous when I get down under a month buffer. The whole month. And I know Brian, if something happened, if my package got lost or something, he would have coffee on a plane, either in his hand to hand me or in an overnight box because he knows how important it is. But yeah, I get down to like a month buffer that I built up over a couple of years now, and I get nervous. It's kind of funny. Um, oh man. All right. Well, that's the Daily Stoic. So I'm gonna really start trying to be intentional. Gingerbread says I'm a double member. I am. I'm more than a double member. I got 2 numbers, and I take that as a minimum is 4 pounds. So yeah. It's a decent amount of coffee. It's a great cause. I mean, the coffee's fantastic, and he's a great guy. So I don't balk at it. And it's coffee. I mean, it's fantastic. That's all said and done, worth every penny. And like I said earlier with the spot silver, if I ever get bulked up on coffee and I don't need it, I can just grab $40 worth of silver at spot, and that satisfies my club membership. So easy peasy. Just being more intentional about those time periods where I'm looking there, and it's daily. It's every day. I do it every day. So I might as well earmark it or really pay attention to what I'm doing there. So perfect. Perfect. Let's move on. Have you ever seen the rain? I was sitting in the chair yesterday thinking about titles for the show, and all I could keep thinking about was the coming 3 or 4 days where we're supposed to get 3 to 4 inches of rain in the next like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday into Friday a little bit, but pretty heavy, significant rain after a freeze. And I don't know if the frost is out. I was telling Corey yesterday, I've never really thought about the frost in and out, basically because if we had frost coming into the ground in Minnesota, it was there for 6 months. And you never really knew when the frost came out because it melted like it like melted like a cake in Minnesota, where the snow would melt, the frost would come out before the snow was gone half the time because the water was seeping down into the ground, melting the frost out. So you really never had those definitive lines or saw like heaving or anything like that in the ground because it was all such a long process. So that was a new thing to me to hear that's going to bust pipes, and that a week of cold weather was going to put frost into the ground. And I don't even know how far that drives frost into the ground at all. But anyway, I was thinking about the forecast, and all I could think about was the rain and what it's going to do. But I also, during the day, had taken some notes to talk about prepping and what this cold snap has really made me think about as far as prepping and being ready. Hunter said this is the first time I've ever heard of frost in and frost out. Yeah. 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 I mean, I'd heard it. I know about it. I lived it. It was like, but it wasn't ever, the frost set in. Well, of course it did. It's going to be fucking -40 in a couple weeks. The ground is frozen. But I was thinking about preps during the day and what kind of lesson this whole storm here has taught me. And so I'm thinking rain. I'm thinking, have you ever seen the rain? And that's old CCR song that I really loved when I was a kid. My dad always listened to all the classic rock and stuff in the car, so I was like adapted to it. Have you ever seen the rain? Was a really, really phenomenal song. And I was like, the rain, yeah, that's pretty straightforward. But man, when you talk about preps, we're all preppers. That's kind of like where we all come from. I think a lot of us in this audience came out of like TSP and those circles. The survival podcast is all about prepping and being prepared. But when it comes to have you seen the rain, have you ever had to use your preps? Have you ever been in a situation where you broke into them? Have you ever seen the shitty side, or have you just been stockpiling and hope it's right? Uh, that's where that whole title came from, I guess. All metaphoric and shit yesterday. Um, Gingerbread says when frost goes out in North Dakota, it becomes mud season. Same with Minnesota, especially when the top layer melts and the bottom layer hasn't melted yet. When you have 3 feet of frost and the top 6 inches is frozen and the snow's melting and there's nowhere for the water to permeate beyond 6 inches. Yeah, the top 6 inches is fucking mud. Rewilder said Jetta Club days. Yep, for sure, for sure. Been around a while. Mine was when I started commuting from our farm to my job for a couple of years when I had a 90-mile commute one way. Hunter says I was really poor before Rewilder life. We rotate and are always eating preps. Jim says yes, spaghetti for Thanksgiving 1 year snowed in. Good morning, Chris Dixon. How we doing? Oh, pressure headache. Ah, man, I had one the other day. Fucking weather headaches are horrible. Anyway, rain has started. It's already sprinkling this morning. It started last night. I said 3 to 4 inches in the next few days. That's significant. Even without all the snow and the runoff and all of that. So I think it's going to be an absolute fucking mess. An absolute mess. And yesterday I had to take off to Jamie's and grab some firewood and hang out with him for a little bit. And as I was driving there, I saw 2 separate crews, and I'm excited about this, that I saw this, but I saw 2 separate crews out clearing ice jams, ice dams, ice jams, whatever you want to call them, from bridge overpasses. So I passed them. There was crews of like 4 or 5 guys. I mean, it looked a little Chris Dixon, I'm glad you agree with me that 4 inches is significant. They had safety harnesses on and like the whole 9 yards. I was like, that looks a little overkill for what they're doing. But they were breaking up the ice dams that were starting to bind up in the bottoms of the bridge underpasses on the pillars and stuff. Because I think with this rain, there's going to be some flooding, and that's just going to mess up the whole deal. Oh, K-Bonk, his Food Forest Farms around. I can't see his comments because that shit is still messed up. That shit is definitely still messed up. Gingerbread says clip that 4 inches is significant for Brian. Yeah. But yeah, they're clearing the ice out, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I think we're in a flood warning here from Wednesday morning to Wednesday morning through Thursday night or something. So it could get hairy. We're up on a little bit of a high ground here, so that's good for me. I'm happy about that. But the rain's coming. I didn't get the water done yesterday, so I'm probably going to be out messing around with that in the water, in the rain, climbing under the camper. It'll probably be a miserable mess, and I just didn't get it done yesterday. I was doing other stuff, and it became more important to get that done than get the water back in the tank. But where I was going with that is, as I was kind of going over like an AAR, an after action report, an after action recap, review, whatever you want to call it, over this last cold snap. And it's not done yet. I think with this rain and the significant rain, there could be more shit to come. And schools are still out today here. That's over a week. That's 7 school days. So a business week plus a weekend and 2 more days. Water is still off in a lot of the municipalities or towns or whatever you want to call them around here. So we're not out of the woods here. I sat down to kind of think about how it went for us and our preps. And I realized we live our preps all the time. We live our preps day to day. Corey and I, when we decided to boondock, when we decided to set our trailer up to go stay on BLM land or go stay anywhere we want to park on a raw property or this or that, we really set ourselves up to be without those things that you lose in an emergency. The one thing we were lacking for this emergency, and it makes sense because we never planned on being somewhere cold. That came after the fact. Staying a winter in Tennessee came after the fact, after the planning of the whole trailer, the systems and everything. We were lacking on water, water storage. We're lacking on water storage below freezing. If I have to run around and go find water from a spring or a lake or a pond or a stream, somebody's swimming pool, whatever, with the tank I have in the back of the truck and the pumps and the hoses and the fittings and all of that, I have a way to go get water. Not when it's all frozen. Not when it's all frozen. I was lucky enough to be able to source, be able to secure some water access if everything was frozen up or the water was out for any significant amount of time. With Jamie and the spring out at his place, luckily for us, he was kind enough to say we could use it if we needed to. If I could get there. With the roads being as bad as they are here, they were pretty impassable for a couple days. They've been fine for a while since that. But if I couldn't get there, I really don't know what we would have done if the water had gone off for our town. Because our town was the one of the few that didn't lose water through this whole thing. Yet. Jim says, how thick is the ice up there? On the river, I mean, it's all melting now. The ice on the roads was probably, I would say, at least an inch thick after the slush. After the snow, so the problem was it was snowed. It was just warm enough to snow, and it melted, and then the sun came out. It compacted and melted and then froze hard for a week. Ponds and lakes, I think I wouldn't walk on them. Let's just say that. The river tributaries have a layer of ice on top of them, moving layer of ice, and I haven't seen a pond in a while, guys. I haven't seen a pond in a while. It is. I mean, I would have been able to figure it out. I mean, in this scenario, with as much snow that was around, I definitely could have gathered and melted snow, like made it work. But it really keyed me into the fact that I don't have a way to bulk store water if it's cold, if it's below freezing. Thanks to James from Gingerbread Farm. We were talking on Telegram the other night. I mentioned it a little bit. We were troubleshooting or brainstorming, I guess, not troubleshooting, how to use the heat from the exhaust pipe, the stove pipe of our wood stove to do a passive recirculation into our fresh water tank and also probably our waste tank, two separate ones. But using maybe a thermal siphon or a small pump that when we have the stove on and it's going to be below freezing, we can crack a valve and circulate some of that water with the stovepipe heat and maybe some copper tubing. So already trying to game plan scenarios that we're lacking in. Food was fine. It wasn't necessarily the food that I wanted. Like I said earlier, when the cold snap hit, basically went in survival mode, and like all thoughts of eating properly went out the window. All thoughts of health and diet and exercise went out the window, and it was just let's stay fucking warm. Yeah, it was what it was. Hunter says, what's the diameter stovepipe? 3-inch. Double walled 3-inch. Well, interior 3-inch. Double walled 3-inch. Chris Dixon says they canceled pizza last week. Dude posted on Facebook, says no pizza until further notice. No, no pizza until further notice, and we're hoping, fingers crossed. I think Corey even is contemplating getting out early on Thursday. So she said, hey, I went in early. I worked a little extra, so I got to take an early day out. And I think I'm gonna do Thursday. And I said, what's going on Thursday? She says it's pizza day. And I got a warm tingly in my heart. I got a warm fuzzy in my heart that my wife wants to take her um take her time that she's accumulated because she's worked extra to get off to make sure we get pizza. So hopefully Charlie's is back on the road by Thursday and comes here and makes us some wonderful pizza. K-Bonk says use PEX to the tank, copper near the stove pipe, save money. Thanks. Good idea. Is there a PEX? There's got to be PEX to copper fittings. Or do I have to go through a manifold of some sort? Interesting. Because I got to get under there and look at it today when I turn it back on. Hopefully, I'll be able to inspect and see. I had a little bit of drip before we shut it down. So, shark bites. Okay, cool. That's a great idea. I'll definitely have to put that in my notes for the system. Hopefully, Hunter says temp might be a problem. Temp as in too hot to transfer to the PEX, or temp as in too hot, not enough heat to keep the water warm. I was going to do a tight quarter or maybe quarter-inch or smaller copper coil around the stovepipe as long as I had to do it, as many coils as I had to do it to feel that it was enough. Oh, boiling the PEX. Okay, yeah. It really depends on how fast the water's moving, I guess, and how hot I need it to keep that water tank free. I don't know. I think it might end up being it'll probably end up being a project for when this is stationary. K-Bonk says adjust the flow rate to keep temp lower. I'm guessing, could I put that on a Raspberry with a temp sensor a couple different places in the system, in the loop, to adjust valves to do flow rate? I don't want to put the copper inside the chimney, James. I told you that. Chris Dixon says, just let your tap run, then it won't freeze. My favorite. Guys, I joined a long time ago. I joined a bunch of Facebook groups that had for full-time RVers. When I was doing my build, as I was building it, as we took off, I post videos there, I post links there, whatever. Man, as soon as the cold snap hit across the country, everybody was talking about dripping their faucets. I think it was one campground went out and told one camper that they should drip their faucet, basically so the campground lines won't freeze. And they all did it. Everybody. And somebody actually made a really funny really funny post the other day that said, looks like we're in drip your faucet season, because that was every single post for days. But the hilarious part was they were all dripping their faucet, and some people were waking up the next morning with water running out of their sink because, their incoming water didn't freeze, but their outgoing black and gray tank drain, because it was just a little trickle, it froze like a fucking river and blocked up their black tank discharge and backed up into their camper and flooded. It was fantastic. I was like, oh no, oh no. And that's also why they're all out of water around here. Everybody's dripping their faucets, trying to get their pipes not to freeze, and yeah. So they ran out of water when all the pipes started breaking in the front yards because the dripping didn't work. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I feel like we're set up for living our preps. Um, when we were I was trying to evaluate and really gameplay what it was going to be like when the temperature dropped. And as I was going through like scenarios, I was like, we're pretty set. And after the fact, when I was sitting there thinking about how it went, I was like, we really live pretty minimally. We really live pretty minimally. I thought about the fact how we just didn't even blink an eye when we were like, all right, well, we'll drain our water tank and live out of jerry cans. Oh, we'll run the wood stove and it's going to be a little chillier in here. It's going to be 50, 55, 60 at the most in the camper during this cold snap. If we need to, we can turn the propane heat on. Just how easily we transition into that, I realized that we basically live a prepper scenario on a daily basis. Now we're sitting here really with electricity and water at our site. But we're set up to do way beyond that. I felt kind of dirty when we got here and we like plugged in and we filled the tank all the time. I was like, this isn't really what we're set up to do. We're set up to do a tank at a time. We're set up to run off our solar, maybe the generator. That's what we did all last winter. But have you lived your preps? Have you cut Jack always talked about cutting the power to your house for a weekend or a night, or use your blackout kit. Go down and flip the breaker off and set a timer. Have you shut your water off for 4 days? For a week? Because there's some people right now that are going on, let's see, 4 days, 5 days. I think 5 days would be the longest one today. When that town ran out of water. They're handing out cases of water at the fire station, but man, my dogs alone go through 6 gallons of water a day, at least. Just my dogs. I don't know what to do about that. I mean, I do know what to do about it. It's not going to happen. Not with me staying married. How gross some of those places would be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But consider it. I know a lot of us rotate through our food stocks and watch our food stores, and we really focus on being not starving. I know a lot of people in this community have a well. I know a lot of people in the community have bottled water stored. But do you know how much water you go through in a day? Do you know how much electricity you use in a day? These are all exercises that I went through when I was planning out how to build out this camper. And I forget about the fact that I know all of that. Do you know how much water you consume in a day with a shower and you're drinking water and you're washing your hands and you're cooking and your pets and do you have any rough idea? Maybe it's time to figure that out. Maybe it's time to figure out the fact that you got 10 gallons of water stored in the basement and that'll get you 3 days. I don't know. Hunter says a metric ass load. These people I room with are ridiculous. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, we cut significantly the amount of water we use just by going to a composting toilet. Like, I don't need water to flush my toilet, so that's a lot. Gingerbread Farm says there's a wake up call to Wyatt when he was swapping so many batteries. Yep. Chris Dixon, I knew you would be one that have done this. He says my wife hates dark days. That's what I call our prep exercises. Perfect. Perfect. I mean, it's just something to throw out there. I know a lot of us in this community are aware of that, are all over it. But I think a lot of us also get very comfortable and complacent in the fact that we have some food on the shelf, that we've done our copy canning, that we've put a couple gallons of water away, that we have our 12 gallons of gas for our generator. There's a lot more than power and food, and water doesn't go as far as you want. Maybe it's time to shut that valve to the water main. See how it goes. You can always turn it back on if you run out this time. Just a thought. Just a thought. Mail delivery started coming back in finally. I went up to the post office yesterday, finally started getting some mail. Got our first shipment from our mailbox service that we use in South Dakota. Had let some stuff pile up there and ordered my first mail transfer. Went super smooth. The process was so easy. So easy. Basically, when I get a piece of mail to that address, they scan the front of it and email me. I can choose to do several things. I can choose to have them trash it, shred it, just trash it, shred it, open it up and scan what's inside, and then decide further if I want to keep it or shred it. And then I can also they'll hold it for up to a year for me to decide what I want to do with it. And then they ask me again. They don't just throw it away. But they basically, I go in and click ship, and I could have a stored address. I could put in a new address. And a few days later, it showed up. It went in a priority envelope and just showed up. And it was fantastic. It's super easy. It got hung up in the disaster of the mail, and I was worried because it was some pretty important documents. It was definitely some pretty important documents, but it showed up. And then I'm also excited to open up today. I got Blackbeard fire starters to test out. Their fire starting plugs. I'm going to do some videos about them, review them. I'm going to throw a link in the video chat and the audio chat for Blackbeard fire starters. If you guys want to check them out, there's a 10% discount code, Lots Project. Just Lots Project, and use blackbeardfire.com/Lots Project. Check out what they got going on and grab 10% off if you want to pick up some fire starters. But I'm excited to take a look at those. We also got our shower finally got here with a big old tear in the box. It has seen better days. I don't think the shower itself was damaged. The bag didn't look damaged. It's in like a tent bag inside the box, but man, the shipping box is a little worse for wear. And I got more stuff showing up today, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited that the mail's moving again. She was like, "Holy crap, you got a lot of packages today." I said, "Yeah, because they've been supposed to be showing up since last Thursday, and nothing's been coming in, so they're all stockpiled." It's all moving again. It is all moving again. That was another thing that really made me think about preps. I don't have the situation, but maybe some of people out there get medication through the mail. I would have never thought the mail was going to be shut down for 5 days straight because of 8 inches of snow. 5 days. How close do you cut your medication? I just told you I got a month's worth of coffee in the cupboard. That's my medication, and I get nervous when I get down to a month's supply. So make sure you got your meds too, guys. MSU Rifle got my Jade yesterday. Awesome. Appreciate you ordering one. That K-Bong says Bitcoin on sale. Stack it up. Yeah, Bitcoin is under 39,000 as of this morning. I don't know if it's popped up anymore during the show, but yeah, might be time to stack a little bit. I'm hoping that we take a little slide for the next month, actually slowly slide down, and then I get my Jade commission gets paid in Bitcoin, and that'll be towards the end of February. So if it could bottom out right around February 22nd, that would be fantastic. Be fantastic. That was a question I had for you folks. What Jade videos would you like made? for everybody in the live audience, just drop them in the comments. But if you're listening in the audio or the replay, put them in the comments of the video, or shoot me an email, send me a message on Telegram, or you get a hold of me. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. But I want to know what Jade videos you want done. Right now on my list, I have how to factory reset it and restore it from a seed phrase, how to factory reset it and restore it from a compact seed QR, actually how to generate a compact seed QR, and how to use it, how to use the QR air gap function for logging into the hardware wallet and signing functions, how to use that, the camera and that. I also have how to use it as a two-factor authentication device like Google Authenticator. I have that on the list. Pip says, has there been a Jade Lightning payment transfer? Jade is currently beta testing Lightning functionality in the Blockstream Green wallet, which will be able to connect to the Jade. K-Bonk was wondering about the battery. Thanks for the battery confirmation. Still on the fence, though. Fair enough. I've been trying to get a hold of CoinKite to get my hands on a cold card. If there's any other hardware wallets you guys are interested in, I can reach out. Yeah. MSU Rifle says, I think I could figure out how to open the box, but no, nothing past that. All right. There's video. My videos will set you up right from that. MSU Rifle. The how to set up your Jade. If you want to walk through it, we can. Just let me know. Watch the video if you have questions too. If the video is not clear or there's some other question you still have, just let me know and I can make videos on it so everybody can learn too. Hunter was wondering, his green wallet is Jade. Blockstream Green wallet is the software interface for the Jade hardware wallet. So in order to access the funds on your Jade and send the funds, I don't think you can populate the no, you can't populate the receive. Hunter says Lightning is cold storage. Yes. So the way it would happen is when the Lightning balance gets put on chain. So you hold the Lightning in the software wallet, and then if you want to convert that on chain, it will be you're signing. Basically, the hardware wallet is just your signing. It's your private key. On chain, off chain. It's just basically the signing device. It's basically the signing device. So if you don't have the wallet, you can't send anything. On chain, off chain. It just, the wallet doesn't do anything. It's like you're poking it with a stick. Dixon says, do you have an off the fence video? Not yet, but I can try to formulate one for sure. Sell you on the Jade, huh? Sell you on the Jade. And K-Bonk, Blockstream has a multi-sig option, I think. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sweet. I will note that down. Off the fence and multi-sig. K-Bong says his Trezor is working fine. Perfect. As long as something works for you, that's all I want. And I'm reaching out. I've been consistently reaching out to Bitcoin companies here for a while, looking for other products to review and recommend. Gingerbread says, can you use Jade as a hardware key? ? Good morning, John. How we doing? Um, I'm not sure what you mean, James, as a hardware key. Um, hey, let me know. You can send me a message. Send me a message. What else we got here? I got a new laptop battery on my way. I don't know if I've been mentioning. I've been opening my laptop in the morning. I've been thinking it's kind of going sideways. I'm getting low battery warnings, even though it's plugged in, and it was a little bit to do with the cold next to the wall. But finally, I got sick of it, and I was under the impression that I have an HP Pavilion, and I was under the impression that it was a sealed unit. Like there was no after you had to basically destroy the case to get any of the components out. Yeah, not so true. Not so true. Quick Google search. I figured out that I can remove the bottom cover, and I can remove the bottom cover. I can replace the battery, and the battery is like $28. So I got one on the way. I'll be doing a video about that. So that's good. More content, more content. Ginger says like Windows won't start without it plugged in. Like there's no battery capacity whatsoever in the battery. It's 5 years. It's 4 or 5 years old. The battery's shot for sure, for sure. I unplug it. I can run it plugged in. When I unplug it, it dies. There's just no battery. So I picked up a new battery. I'll just swap that in. John Palmer says some of you people go to bed while I'm still at work. I feel you, man. I feel you. You on swing shift, or you just on long shift, or you just on a late start? Rewilder Life says, ever heard of Celsius? Yes, run away. I get spam emails from them all the time. Lots of folks get burned with that one. We only had 500 in it, but they're handing money back out about 70%. Yeah. Rewilder Life, I got bit, or K-Bong says he got bit by them also. BlockFi nipped him too. Jim says, what's my backup prep if the computer quits? Well, actual computer, it's tough. I don't have I could go live on my phone, no problem. It would be a shit show, but I have everything on hard drives. I use all external hard drives to store all my data. I don't bog down the computer with that. I use 2 terabyte USB plug-in hard drives. So I have all my stuff if I need it. If the laptop takes a shit, it basically need to pull it back up. Otherwise, I got a lot of functionality on my phone, and basically I could go pick up a shitty tablet to get by until I could get a better laptop. Oh, Gingerbread says no, Windows won't start unless the Jade is plugged in as a key. I don't know. Can you put a 2FA login on Windows? I don't know. Rewilder Light says I need to get better about using my hard drives. Yeah, it's always plugged in. It's always plugged in. I just know it stays plugged in. As if the computer's on, I'm on my second 2 terabyte hard drive from show content, video, audio, picture files, everything. I filled up one, and I'm on number 2. I'm probably about halfway through that. So Carbonite. Yeah. Cloud storage is shit, man. And basically I gotta fire up my own server here in a little bit. So we'll see what goes on with that. See what goes on with that. Decided to go down that road. I'm not sure if it was a wise decision or not, but eventually here in the near future, probably within the next couple of months, I'm going to be dicking around with setting up a Bitcoin node, a Lightning node, and a little personal server. So if you've been in the Telegram chat, you can check that out. Jim says Jim was wondering to start 9. I'm going to use Start OS, but I'm probably going to go and buy my own hardware. and haven't really landed on official or 100% what I'm going to do yet. But yeah, I'll probably be running Start OS, but not on the Start 9 from them. Thanks, James. Thanks. Anyway, let's wrap up. We've been here an hour. I got a bunch of stuff. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but I enjoy you guys. I enjoy chatting with you guys. I appreciate everybody that hangs out in the morning and throws fodder at the show. K-Bunk says another fence sitting on Start 9. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go and build my own. I think I'm going to build my own. We'll see. To come on the Lots Project podcast and the Lots Project YouTube channel. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys all listening. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit the like, share, and subscribe. To return value for value, please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listen to any of the value for value platforms like Podverse, Wavelake, or Fountain.fm. Visit thelotsproject.com to find more information or find all my links. What are you guys going to do to make your life better today? What are you guys going to do to make it your life a little more secure, a little more prepped, to make sure your preps are going to work? Think about it today, and let me know tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Enjoy your Tuesday, and we will circle back here on Hump Day.